Hey there DC fans, this is Wesatron. Today we're going to be taking a look at Mattel's DC Total Heroes Green Lantern Corps action figure. I call it that because it says Green Lantern Corps up here instead of just Green Lantern. Not really sure why. Box is pretty similar to what we've seen from the DC Total Heroes line so far. We've got some comic art over here. I'm not sure who did that, if that's Ethan Van Sciver, I'm not really sure. But very cool, kind of similar to the New Marvel Legends packaging. On the bottom, you can see a little crunched up here, not a big deal. DC Comics logo here. Back has some more art here, some of the cross cells. Sinestro will be part of this kind of, I guess, mini line because only 2 figures are coming out as part of this assortment. We've got Aquaman, Flash, Total Heroes, Matty Collector, blah, 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 all the boring stuff. Pretty much it on packaging, standard blister and card. So let's get him out and see what he's like. Here we have Hal out of packaging, and as you can see, he's in his modern post-rebirth / New 52 costume. A little bit sleeker, I guess. I actually prefer the old underwear that comes all the way down, but you know, to each his own on that. The figure itself is actually very, very cool. I'm surprised that they actually went ahead and bothered doing the detailing of cutting in the lines on the suit here. I assumed that would just be painted on, but it is actually sculpted in. So pretty cool on that one. I'm really surprised to see that. The tempo looks pretty good. Nice and straight and clear. Everything looks really good there. The head sculpt I really, really dig. It's kind of got a smart alecky kind of vibe to it. Very cocksure. Very kind of a classic Hal Jordan. Very nice hair. Kind of done in like a almost a 40 pilot style, which I really, really dig. It kind of sits true to the roots of the character. I really dig that. Some people have complained about the forearms being too large, looking like it's armored and stuff. It really doesn't bother me. The blocky design, I think, looks really nice. It adds a nice kind of fun comic book-like aesthetic to the figures, and I really like it overall. You can see, even on parts that are left unpainted, like his pants here, you can see that there's sort of panel lining almost, like a armored type of look on the knees. It goes down into the boots. The bottom of the boots are kind of textured, so it looks like he's got, you know, stomping power and whatnot. But that kind of texture is all over this figure. On the back, you can see there's some like cross hatching or maybe some webbing of some type. Same up here on the shoulders. So very, very cool. The design and look of this figure I think is really neat. It is worth mentioning that the original version that we saw of this, I believe was SDCC, showed him with metallic colors. This figure does not have that. The white on the gloves might be a tad pearlescent, maybe, but I think that might be a stretch. It looks more like just like gloss white. So, oh, and the ring, by the way, doesn't have any detail on it. It's just a blob, which I'm not totally bothered by, but it would have been cool to have a little something extra there. So, very cool. His only accessory is this green construct that is an axe that kind of, I don't know if you would call this a double-headed axe. That's kind of weird looking. Seems like it would be really dangerous to wield, like a baton of death. Like you start flipping this thing around, you're going to start losing appendages. But it is kind of a thicker, clear plastic. It's got a little bit of flex to it, but not a lot, so it is nice and sturdy. And there's a lot of really nice little details on it. You can see rivets, holes, things that just make it look very techy. It almost looks so techy that it doesn't fit with, oh look, the China logo. It almost looks like it wouldn't fit with Hal Jordan's style. He was never a really imaginative guy. Lots of boxing gloves and giant fists and rockets and things like that. This looks a little bit more like something Kyle Rayner would dream up. But still, very cool on its own. That just can snap into his left hand. His right hand is closed because of the ring. So this sort of just pops in here with quote-unquote minimal effort, he said, as he struggled in vain to get it in there. There we go. There we go. And then you just kind of pop it up. So now you got some cool axe power there. Very cool. You know, they didn't have to include an accessory. It's always good when they do with a Green Lantern. It makes it feel like they're really kind of buying into the mythos. So I'm cool with that. As far as articulation goes, we have a ball-jointed head. So we get you can see how this kind of like chicken heads a little bit. It's not as good as the ball jointed heads we saw in Series 1. You can see there's not any tilt at all. That's mostly me just bending the peg. But we do get a nice, you know, spin around and everything, and a little bit of forward and back, but not much. Swivel hinge shoulders, of course, go all the way around, hinge out to about there. Got swivel hinges in the elbows, so they bend at close to 90 degrees and swivel. Swivels in the wrists, swivel in the waist. Swivel hinges at the hips, so they go forward about that far, back, and are blocked by the butt. But they hinge out perfectly out to the side, so that's really cool. We have a single hinge point here for the knee, which gets close to 90 degrees, not perfect, and then a single hinge ankle. Not that you would need double hinges in an ankle. I guess I meant there was no swivel hinge. So it gets about that range forward and that back. So the ankles actually have a very nice range of motion. The knees have a nice range of motion. What you got here is usually pretty good. I would have preferred swivel hinge knees on this whole line. That was really my only one big gripe. Past that, I really enjoy it. So yeah, I got this from Amazon for $11.99. When it hits stores, it'll be $9.99. And for $9.99, you get a really cool 6-inch scaled action figure. You get a construct, which is neat. He fits in well with the rest of the line. I've got Sinestro here. I've got Flash here. It just looks really cool. I dig this line. I know it's not for everybody. The cartoon aesthetic bothers a lot of people. A lot of people really wanted DCUC to continue. But for me, I think this is a really cool action figure. It kind of fits with the comic book vibe, a lot of the animated vibe that kind of started with my generation, with Batman the Animated Series and things like that. So I'm really into it. $10, $12 for me. I'm still happy with $12. At $10, I think he's a great deal, and I think he's going to look great posing with Mr. Sinestro here, which is very cool. I'm always down for some Sinestro time, even though I would have preferred classic blue Sinestro, but I guess we're beyond that, into the point of everything's New 52 and post Sinestro core and all that jazz. So still, cool action figure. Definitely pick it up if you get the chance, if you're into the line. The only thing I could see pulling you back is really the aesthetics. If you don't like the square blocky look, I get it, but if you give it a chance, I think you will think that these are pretty fun toys. So that's it. If you have any questions or comments, throw it in the box below. I'll be glad to answer them for you. You guys have a great day. Thanks. Bye.